I'll get the girl.
Try and do this, yeah. They try and eat my buttons. Really?
34 degrees is pretty much our high today, and we are at that now this afternoon. So I'm going to take a little bit of advantage of the break in that weather and come out here and do some work on our compost pile. I've got two different piles we started at two different times. We're in the dead of winter right now, so I'm going to check them and see if they look like they're breaking down anymore, and if not, then I'll probably just combine them all into one pile and call it for the winter on that. So let's get them combined. It's been about a week since it rained last, and I thought I'd walk over while I was out doing the compost pile, take a look at this back 7 field, at least this lower part that we've been working in, and I'll show you. Yeah, still water. What are you gonna do? Very soggy out here still. I wanted to take a minute, first of all, and thank everyone for all of the comments that they put on the last video. I really appreciate it. There were a couple that referenced getting a tractor or someone out here with a tractor to kind of till this, and getting a tiller that I would have to redo a lot of this in the spring. And ironically enough, I thought I would let you know I actually have both a tractor and a tiller. The tiller was gifted to us when we bought the house, but I haven't even unboxed it yet because, well, frankly, the ground has been a little wet for that right now anyway. It would just clump in. But what I'm trying to do back here is really a bit of an experiment. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then I'll learn from that. But what I'm trying to do is break this up to get more of the water to go subsurface and aerate it and get some of this organic material that's on the top, the dead grass, leaves, etc., down underneath that top layer of soil. And then I'll let you walk over here because I've got this, but then I'm following up with putting a thick layer of, again, organic material, grass, leaves, any kind of clippings, things like that, over the top of what I've broad forked, so that as that begins to kind of deteriorate, that's getting washed in, or as it rains, it gets washed in along with the rest. And then in the spring, when this dries enough, I will come back out here with the tiller, and I will hit these beds with a tiller to mix all that in, and then I'll probably tarp it just to make sure I can kind of finish it off. But this is a bigger bed that we did, and you can see where I've put down some of the cover right now. We would have been really good to do cover crops this year, and I might do cover crops next year. I know that comment came up, but again, I got a late start into things, so right now I'm just trying to work with what I can control and what I have available to me. And the one thing I have plenty of on this piece of property is leaves and grass clippings and things that I can mulch up to put on top of the ground and try to work that in with the clay so that it keeps it aerated, it keeps it nutrient rich. It's all about right now getting that material done in there to see if I can get water a place to go and give it some better drainage further down in the soil instead of just kind of resting on up at the top. I will probably try to do some things as well with contouring it a little bit to get water runoff off to the side. I don't know yet. We'll just have to see what the spring brings. I still need to get the tractor worked on. I have a guy that does work, and he came out and he got it running, and I used it for probably a couple days. Unfortunately, it started to foul up on me, so backfiring through the carburetor, so I figure I need to have a little more tweaking done on it. I also have a leak on the hydraulic fluid for the attachments, so I want to have him take a look at that. So rather than running it and ruining it, I'm just letting it sit. I'm not afraid of doing a little bit of hard work, and yes, this is a lot of exercise and hard work, but at the end of the growing season, if we've got food on the table and we were productive, then every ounce of effort put into this is going to be worth it. This bigger bed over here is 25 by 100. That's all been broad forked, and no, I did not do that myself. We actually had the kids come out, and they have helped me do a lot of ground clearing out here and doing some of the broad forking. So everyone kind of participates, but when it's this cold out, they're not geared up to do a lot of this stuff in this kind of cold weather. So for this growing season or this winter season, we're gonna give them an outdoor activity off day. All right, well, now that we've taken a little bit of a look at the compost and what I broad forked out here, I think I'm gonna head back up to the house. I have been waiting since, oh wow, I think almost New Year's, maybe earlier, for some crown molding I ordered for the bathroom to come, and I heard a truck finally get here. It's been delayed. It was supposed to come last week, then it got pushed off to Monday of this week, then it got pushed off to Friday of this week. So I'm hoping what I heard up there was my crown molding finally getting here. So I've been waiting for that crown molding to come before I do a lot of the painting and any kind of touch-ups to the ceiling, because I need to see if it's going to fit, if it's going to look right, and how far it overlaps, because a description online only shows you so much. So I'm going to walk up to the house and put these tools away. Hopefully my crown molding is here. Well, I would say, hard to see it up there, but there is a big long box leaning up against the house. That is a good sign that it came. Yay. So we've been in the house now for about 90 days. Our light here in the hall was down to just one light bulb. So I got up in here to check it, and it's a nice light fixture. Not only was one bulb out, but one of the sockets was bad, so that's why it was only burning on one light bulb. So today, I'm gonna fix this light fixture. So I'm gonna need to grab a step stool to get back up there, but as you can see, I've already taken it down. I ordered some parts on Amazon, so if there's something that you see that you would like, I can link that in descriptions for you. Just let me know. All right, and it is now about 20 minutes later because I managed to lose the little nut that goes on the end of the shaft of this light. So if you have to order parts, make sure you put everything in a Ziploc bag. Otherwise, you'll have a small delay in trying to get things done. And admittedly, I actually went out and checked all my parts drawers to see if I had another one of these because I didn't find it the first time I looked through the couch. But when I didn't have one, I dug a little deeper and found it had slid down to the floor level between the couch cushions and the sections of the couch. So I can get this back together now.
Oh, I do see it.
Keep it attacking me.
How do we know this is a boy?
Ew, his legs feel gross. Ew, I don't like the legs.
Huh? They try to eat your buttons.
They're much different and smaller and cuter when they're babies.
You're a funny chicken.
I'll get the girl.
They try and do this, Yaya. They try and eat my buttons.
Really?
Chickens.
Is this sunshine or moonshine? That's sunshine.
Oh, I think she's gonna be pretty.
Chickens. Watch the dog, Cora. What are you doing down there?
Put it down.
All right, well, the first place in the house we're gonna tackle is the kids' upstairs bathroom. The good news is, I guess kind of the bad news too, is it's very small. These kids basically, I think, deal with a 5 foot by probably 5 foot square cube. Not a lot of room for anything, just a single vanity, no shelf drawers, storage cabinet underneath, some wonderful Harvest Gold, I think is the color, Harvest Gold fixtures. When we got it, it had a white toilet seat, so very attractive. Ignore all the color splotches on the wall. That's me. I've been testing out some of the color mixes we have to come up with a color that would go well with this Harvest Gold, trying to find a good match. I don't want to go dark because it is such a small bathroom. One of the reasons I started with this room, aside from the fact it really needed some help, is because it also had a malfunction, if you will, in the ceiling fan. So I've already taken it out. Whoops, there we go. So I've already taken it out, but that is the housing for a new tone ceiling fan. And the motor had started to bind up, so I needed to get the motor replaced to replace the whole housing, and I'll show you that here in a second. But I was able to find the exact replacement motor, so I'm hoping I can just swap that out and then we'll get that back up in the ceiling for them. The bracket is rusted though, so before I go and put the bracket back up, because again this is a hot steamy environment, it's a bathroom, I'm going to go ahead and take time to sand that bracket down a little bit and spray paint it with a Rust-Oleum coat. Yeah, and then I'll put it back in. So don't know if I can get this, but right here you can see this line. So that, when I push on it a little bit, might be able to tell it moves in and out. I don't think you can. But at any rate, not a big deal. They used to have a recessed fixture here that was removed, and they just put in new drywall and painted over it, and they didn't tape it. They just mudded it, and the paint that they've used in here, and you can kind of see this down here, again, ignore that, that's where I was testing colors, but the paint is very brittle and flaky. So I'm gonna have to deal with this all over. It's very brittle in here, and you can see how it's kind of wrinkled. My best guess is they used an oil-based paint in most of this house, because I see that same issue in the upper corners where the wall and the ceiling flexes a little bit, in the corners where the walls come together, and I see it in a lot of the corners, like not in here specifically, but in the corners of the door frames. I see a lot of hairline cracks that don't look like the drywall's having issues, but I still have a hairline crack. And the best I can come up with is that is a just the oil-based paint that once it dries and sets, it doesn't have the flexibility that a latex does. At least that's what I read online. And yeah, it just cracks. So I'm gonna have to replace this with a latex paint. The other challenge will be finding some fixtures, which I'm pretty sure the ones I've got are gonna work. I ordered some online already.
Here.
And
Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad, give me some tape for Tommy. Because he's moving.
Alright, so the other thing that I need to do in here is come up with enough storage space for the kids to be able to hang some towels, hand towels. As you can see, I've got the one towel rack back here, and that is it. So I picked out some shelving ideas. So I need to start with the ceiling fan, because I'll need that to make sure this room airs out. But over the course of the next, couple of weeks, because I am doing some drywall work and I am going to do some painting work, I want to make sure it has time to cure between coats. So over the next probably week and a half to 2 weeks, I will be spending some time getting this bathroom put together, and hopefully it turns out great. I thought I'd give you guys a quick peek at the ceiling fan motor housing. So this is the motor housing I took down from the ceiling. So when they tried to fix this at some point, they put paneling nails on either side. One's come out at some point. That is a paneling nail with the head cut off to hold this to the actual shaft. So I got to, I'm hoping that stays tight, and if not, maybe I'll do an epoxy or some sort of rubber seal to get it to hold to the new shaft. But I need to work on that. And then you can just see we're all just kind of rusted here, and it's not rusting through or anything major. But if I'm going to take the time to put this back up in the ceiling, I want to make sure it's a one and done. So I'm going to go ahead and fix all of this. So I'm going to start by taking this motor apart and getting that fan piece out. And then I'll sand and spray the bracket. So we'll catch a little bit of that. So, I got the ceiling fan in. I will show you that right up there. Did not record it all because I had a terrible time trying to keep the camera focused on the ceiling. That was very difficult because I just wanted to fall over. It's too top heavy. But it works. We got light. But it is rigged at the moment so that the kids can have the fan to use. The wheel for the exhaust, actually the spindle part is so worn out that makes perfect sense now why they tried to shove paneling nails down in it. But the shaft area is so worn out that it will not stay level or stable and it wants to wobble. And so it just made an awful ruckus. I actually wrapped the spindle with a little bit of electrical tape for now, and then forced the wheel, the cage assembly, the wheel, back onto the spindle and put it back up in the ceiling. And as you can see, it works fine for right now, but that is a very short term. I did have to order a new cage wheel for that blower part. That is not going to come until the end of the week, so when I do some more work in here, I will go ahead and take that back down and put the new wheel on it so that it is done right. But I didn't want to go another week almost without them having a ceiling fan in the bathroom, so that'll get them done for now. Alright, well guess what? As fate would have it, I now have a little red tape mark on the wall, and you'll never guess why. Because my ceiling fan didn't last. But that's okay. I'm actually going to end this video out and replace the ceiling fan cage motor. I got that in 2 days ago. So, good thing. As you can see, if I can get it up here. Nope, you may not. But this one actually has a flat side for the spindle. It's got a retainer clamp on it, so this one should work really well. I'm going to get up there and take that old ceiling fan down, get it replaced with this cage fan, and the kids can have their fan back again because it's been out for about 48 hours while I had this one on order. So, at any rate, appreciate y'all watching. I'll close it out, and I'll see you with more of the Homestead on the next one. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.